Hello, welcome to Westlaw video tip number 8. The purpose of today's Westlaw video tip is to bring you up to date on recent changes to the Westlaw interface called Customizable Westlaw. Some of you have been experiencing Customizable Westlaw since mid-August. However, for most of you, the Westlaw interface looked very different today when you signed on to Westlaw. The purpose of Customizable Westlaw is to certainly make the user's experience better and much more flexible, allowing you to personalize and customize Westlaw tabs in ways not possible in Westlaw's previous incarnation. However, the purpose of our video today is to cover some very basic functions of Customizable Westlaw to make sure that you are easily able to access all of the functionality that you had in Westlaw's previous incarnation. So I'm going to go through several basics of using Customizable Westlaw, by no means to show off all of its new capabilities, but just to make sure that you can do your research as needed before you explore all of its new functions. The first thing that you may find happen is you will go up to choose a new tab on your interface, and you may inadvertently click on the X next to the tab, for instance my Florida tab, and now that tab is gone. But if I simply go back over to the right to add a tab, which used to be labeled Add Remove Tabs, I actually haven't even removed the Florida tab completely from my password. I've simply hidden it from display. To get that tab back, we simply click Add, which I will do in a moment, but I'll also point out that you can click on Add Westlaw Tabs to go to the menu of all of the stock Westlaw tabs that you were used to seeing in our previous incarnation of Westlaw. Moving back over to My Tabs, we will simply say that we want to add our Florida tab back to our interface. And Florida, notice, reappears, and I can simply click on it from here, and we are back to using the Florida tab. The second thing that you may notice on any of your stock state or federal jurisdictional tabs, and even some topical tabs, is that now the database areas on your tab consist of only 5 selections. Many of these sections had many more databases listed before. How can I get all or some of those databases that used to appear in each individual content section back? We do that by simply clicking on Edit. When we click on Edit, we will then have the ability to say, I would like to show not just 5, but perhaps, let's say, all. This will bring back, if we now click Save, all of the databases that used to appear under the Case Law section on our Stock Florida tab. Notice if you used to search the federal district courts or the 11th Circuit courts, those databases now reappear. Another area which you may well wish to have this done is on the treatises, so that you can then expose the Florida Practice Series in your Journals and Law Reviews databases. Also, many of you had come to appreciate the availability of tables of contents and indexes. Those are no longer visible as a default on the tabs. However, notice when I bring my arrow to a particular database and click on the down arrow, one of the options I have is to go right to the table of contents. So simply, the tables of contents are still there for each database. They are just hidden and can easily be exposed by the drop-down arrow next to the database. If you would prefer, you can have the tables of contents and indexes on all the time. To do that, you go to your Content and Display options and click on the down arrow next to Show, and that will give us the ability to actually turn on tables of contents and indexes wherever they would occur by default. And when I click Save Options, you'll notice that when we're back to our database selections on our Florida tab, and I'll scroll down here, wherever a table of contents or an index is available for a database, that will automatically be exposed. Also, some of you like to use date restrictions and field restrictions, and other types of more advanced options when running your terms and connectors, and in some cases natural language searches. To do so, you simply click on the Show Advanced Options link, and that will expose your, in the instance of our terms and connectors, our helper list of our connectors and expanders, as well as the date restrictions menu and the field restrictions menu. And with that, for sake of brevity, I will stop with this lesson here. Again, this is by no means meant to expose all of the capabilities of the new customizable Westlaw, which, as a quick aside, I will mention include the ability to completely rearrange the databases, database sections on your screen, to eliminate or move around databases where they occur within particular sections simply by dragging and dropping. However, if you have more questions, whether just getting back to doing the basics or wanting to more fully explore the capabilities of customizable Westlaw, please call the reference attorneys at 1-800-REFATTY, or if you prefer, certainly contact your research specialist for on-site or telephone assistance, or your inside account manager, whichever you feel most comfortable contacting for assistance. And with that, that wraps up Westlaw video tip number 8. Thank you so much for your time.